Hello everyone and welcome back to the Cinemenage à Trois podcast. I'm your host Ash, also known as George Lucas, and I am joined by Josh and Al, aka Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh, what?
I want to be Bob Iger.
You want to be Bob Iger?
Yeah.
I think that's the worst of the options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I got more power than you.
Joke's on you, I have $4 billion.
Joke's on you both. I'm a woman.
Good point out. I have COVID, so yeah, fun times.
Yeah,
So forgive this episode because it's going to be rough around the edges.
But this is the Star Wars episode.
Yeah, the one that we
Because-
said that we were going to be doing in a while last week, and then
Something,
are doing right away.
yeah, something came up and we had to shuffle around episodes and do it all
This
the
week.
night before.
Yeah.
Again, doing your homework the day before.
Doing your homework, except it's a whole podcast.
Professionals, as always.
Mm-hmm.
So, but first, we should probably talk about news. The
None
news
of it
that has
is-
happened today.
None of it is to do with Star Wars.
No, none of it, actually.
First story off the bat. Sonic 3 and Avatar 3. Why does it say Avatar 3 in that tweet? It's Avatar 2.
No,
Oh. Yes, that tweet's wrong.
Oh, it's
No.
Avatar 3.
Avatar 2 is out, like, this year, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
It's out at the end of this year. That's why I'm thinking.
That's why I've
Avatar
got the release
3.
dates wrong then.
Yeah, Avatar
Okay.
3 is coming out then. I don't think it's going to come out then. Think how long Avatar 2 took to come out.
Okay, there we go. From the top, complete professional. Sonic 3 and Avatar 3 will both release in December 2024.
But as I said, Avatar 3 ain't going to come out then. I can see it.
I would just
Son-
like to once again say, can we just put James Cameron
Oh,
at the
God.
bottom of the fucking ocean
yeah.
and leave him there?
Sonic 3 has an actual release date of December 20th.
And I'm hyped. As long as Sonic gets to kiss a human woman, I'm
Yeah.
okay with it.
As long as they cast Forrest Whitaker as Shadow the Hedgehog. And he does the Forrest Whitaker eye as well.
Can I just go?
Shadow in the Forest Whitaker eye.
There you go.
Oh, Christ!
There's going to be so much Forrest Whitaker later, and you have to
Yeah.
bring him up again now,
I
didn't
get-
you?
yeah.
I fucking hate you so
He's
much.
gonna be throughout this episode. He's the through line.
Uh,
Next story. Jim Henson's Creature Shop is seemingly developing animatronics for Blumhouse's live-action Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
I like that.
I like that.
I like that because obviously
Yeah.
Henson's Creature Shop is goated.
3 of the biggest Five Nights at Freddy's fans, as we all know.
Oh yeah,
So
but no,
I-
I think it could be really interesting, especially with the animatronics made by Henson's Creature Shop. That could be really scary.
as we know, with things that usually happen with Henson's Creature Shop, like there's only going to be one of these things because you
Yeah.
know Dark Crystal got cancelled.
Yep.
They don't make Muppets anymore. So we're done.
They didn't they do the first Ninja Turtles movie?
Possibly. I'm not too sure. But that's it for that news story. Now,
Yeah. Oh,
2 news stories from the gift,
Demon, that won't leave us be, boys.
the gift that keeps on giving. It's the only thing keeping this podcast alive. Marvel Studios.
oh God! We thought we said
I
there's
said
gonna be no news for Marvel this
I
week.
was so excited for this week, looking at like news on Twitter, and there just was no Marvel news. And then like last night, this is just these 2 news stories. First one, reading it, it's funny, but thinking about it, it's not funny.
It's
When
really
Marvel moved forward the release date of Avengers Endgame, they forgot to tell the VFX teams behind the film.
Funny,
So
innit?
a quote from the VFX teams: "We found out from a press release that we had 1 less month to work on all of these shots."
That's terrible. It's so bad. We were on about didn't we talk about the VFX artists last week as
Yeah,
well?
About how
And now
they came out.
they're just more of them coming out now and just being like, yeah, this ain't good.
Like I said last week, just unionize,
Funny, innit?
stick it to the man.
It is funny, but at the same time, it's awful.
It
It's
is.
absolutely
You read
poor
that.
show.
You read that like the biggest company on the planet didn't tell their VFX teams that the film was pushed forward a month.
It's
Madness.
really funny.
Absolute madness.
And then the next bit of news is Midnight Suns. It's been delayed to 2023.
No,
Which-
not Midnight Suns.
I mean,
I
again,
like XCOM.
I think it's a definitely a more unique way to approach a superhero game, and the vibe is cool.
I didn't
So
really
it's
say
just-
this last week, but I'm kind of excited for it. Like, I like XCOM.
Yeah, like
think-
it bums me out. It's getting delayed, but at the same time, it delays happen for a reason. They're not going to be like, yeah, we're just going to push us back for no reason. There's obviously something going on that they need to sort, and it gives me time to play Gotham Knights around that time instead.
Fingers crossed they fix the fucking Spider-Man suit, because like that shit's just gash.
Yeah, but there's I think there's
Spider-Man, yeah.
I think there's different suits though, isn't there?
Yeah, but when your base suit looks that bad, and that's the one that's going to be in all your marketing,
Mhm.
you know, it's just gash, you know.
Now it's time to move on to the two pretty big news stories this week.
Oh God!
The first
That
one.
gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, we
yeah.
bring him up every episode. Like,
It's Ramilla Watch.
he's done, ladies and gentlemen.
We
got him.
him.
Sorry, them. Use the
Yes,
correct pronoun.
we
It's gender
We don't
piece
mean-
of shit.
we don't mean to like call anyone by wrong pronouns. but-
Despite the fact we have no respect for Ezra Miller, we will still respect their pronouns because we respect.
we
other
might
non-binary
slip
people.
up. We might
Yeah.
slip up and say he or something, but we don't mean.
Given that though, fuck them.
Yeah.
Flash star Ezra Miller charged with felony burglary in Vermont. So they've actually been charged with something now.
Oh
Just
my
a fucking
God!
Melvin, innit? Oh, fuck off.
After months of just spawning outside police
But
stations, like it's GTA.
one of us did have a very good
We tweeted
theory
it.
for this. No,
Well,
a very good theory.
That there was this my theory that this is all just marketing for the Flash, and it's just going to be like the reverse Flash is ruining Ezra Miller's life.
Honestly, if
If
that
it
was
is-
the case and none of these crimes happened, I'd be impressed. But
Someone
with the
is-
way that Warner Brothers are handling all of their properties, which we'll go
Get
into
into
next,
with the next story, yeah.
I don't think that is the case
Well,
at all.
if it is though, someone at Warner Brothers needs a raise.
Yes, 100%. That
100%.
person just needs to be in charge of everything because
But
that's
no.
five head.
so the Flash film is still happening. Just like to clarify.
Oh
You know,
God!
have you guys seen the tweet of apparently what happened in the burglary as well?
No.
Wasn't it alcohol?
Yeah, apparently, like it's a neighbor that they borrowed alcohol off.
Mm-hmm.
Like they swapped alcohol like numerous times with, and like the media are making it out to be a bigger thing, and it like this motherfucker throws chairs at indigenous people in Hawaii. Like they're not a good person.
They
No,
were
they're
roaming
really
the country in a bulletproof vest with guns, thinking that they were being followed by the FBI and the KKK a couple weeks ago.
Sorry to break it to you, Ezra, but you're not the KKK's target demographic.
not. Really
Although
not.
this is probably from that time that they released that video saying that they were going to fight that KKK chapter somewhere.
I must have missed that. What was it?
Oh, it's a video of him saying about a
He, like-
chapter.
They like
of
threatened
KKK.
the KKK chapter, saying that they were gonna like fight them all.
You know, man, can't be asked.
Absolute carnage. He's
You
a
were-
menace. He is
You were
a
saying
menace.
before we started Parf that if they're charged, if they're like actually arrested for this, like if they get sent to jail, that the Flash is cancelled. Then
Yeah, well, apparently that's the like the source on Twitter, like Twitter stories.
source.
My sources. I made it the fuck up.
Okay.
But yeah,
my
apparently,
source is it came to me in a dream.
apparently, like Zaslav is waiting for like an actual conviction to be made before like they take any action on the Flash.
What?
I don't know about you guys, but I love deliberately spreading misinformation along the internet.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's
And
like
then-
when I just saw that in Sonic 3, Christian Bale will be Shadow the Hedgehog.
to quote you, well, this film just must be gas.
Yeah, it has
And
to.
then-
This film is gas because if it's still coming out after everything,
And then to like, reiterate a point that I made, when has an Ezra Miller film ever been gas?
Peak cinema, I'm telling you. Fantastic Beast Sex Crimes of Dumbledore.
Anyway, should we move on to the big one?
Oh,
The
this
big
is
one.
a big boy one.
We're a bit late to this because this was about a week ago now.
About a week ago.
Dating
Uh,
it. Sorry.
Yeah. So,
Batgirl got cancelled.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Anyway,
But it says as they are committed to making DC titles, big theatrical event films, and Batgirl isn't that.
I picked this tweet because it was the first one that I saw, but there are like several reasons floating around why they've cancelled this movie. One was that it tested really badly with test audiences.
Then I've also seen the test audiences enjoyed it. There is two completely opposite sides.
The one that seems to be probably the one that I'm going to run with canonically is the fact that they're just doing it as a tax write-down.
Yeah, there was like a quote by Kevin Smith, I think, and he said it probably didn't the test and well thing. It probably did test okay, but that's just the reason they're using.
Kevin Smith went on one, like, he was not happy at all. There was like a whole rant that he posted.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, you look at this film and it just looks like a cheap CW project.
The problem is, right, a lot of people worked on this, and I know, like, it's their job, they got paid.
Mm-hmm.
But this was someone's vision. They clearly wanted to make this. Because clearly Warner Brothers don't have much faith in it.
Yeah, but just to be devil's advocate, Ash, Corona Zombie was someone's vision. Should that have ever been released?
Yeah, but it's the same thing as they stopped Zack Snyder's Justice League, and that was his vision. Would you say the same thing?
But they swapped out for a much inferior.
Yeah, but they just straight up cancelled this film. Nobody ever got to see even basically a normal shot from this film.
Yeah,
something that someone had worked very hard on, a lot of people involved in, and a lot of people don't just go in for the money. They go in because they enjoy working on these films. They enjoy what they do. They feel like they're making something for someone to see, and then it's just like, nah, fuck you.
Playing devil's advocate again, though, like, they're not done with, like, what's her name, Leslie Grace?
Yes,
but they've
already said they're gonna bring her back, and like I'd rather that.
But the problem is they're going on about they want their universe and they don't want Keaton or whatever. Keaton's in Flash for one.
Yeah, but
Keaton's in Flash.
He's got more scenes in Flash.
Apparently, he's only in 5 shots of this Batgirl, and you could it looks like the Flash is going to a different universe in the Flash film. Mm-hmm. So why the hell can't you just say this Batgirl film is set in that universe, and then it's nothing to do with the mainline universe? It's just a little spin-off. You've got other films that are coming out that aren't in the mainline DC universe. Like the Batman wasn't part of that mainline DC universe, and neither was the Joker.
Best comic book film of the fucking millennium, the Batman.
Like, I don't care that it's Batgirl per se that got cancelled. It's just the fact that they cancelled a movie that they spent money on that was finished.
It's not so much that I care either that it was Batgirl. It's more the fact that there's a lot of people who worked on it, and it's also a pretty much finished film. They could have they've done it as a tax write-down, but they could have easily made their money back.
You just look at what they're keeping on as well, and it seems like a madness.
I mean, Morbius released 3 times in cinemas.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but the only other thing I want to talk about with this is the email that Kevin Feige sent to the directors.
Oh, I haven't seen this.
The email itself isn't anything special.
You haven't seen it.
But he left the sent from my iPhone thing that iPhone automatically does at the bottom of the email when he sent it.
Just know the guy was out getting a caramel frappuccino or something. And you say, I better save face, and like. It's
because the directors they directed 2 episodes of Miss Marvel, the best 2 episodes of Miss Marvel in my opinion. They directed the first 2, which were really good episodes. So I'm just imagining that's why he sent it. But it's just so funny because every time I send an email, I make sure that I take that bit out because it just looks more professional. And to think that the head of Marvel Studios just doesn't bother to take sent from my iPhone out of his emails, just it buckles me.
It is, but he can do that now, can't he?
He can. And I believe that's it for the news.
Yeah. Oh, the only other thing
Yeah.
that angers me
Oh.
about Batgirl is that we're not seeing Brendan Fraser. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
only thing.
Like-
Because he was Firefly. No, Brendan Fraser's great. Like,
this is what I mean. But like, he's had a tough couple of years, hasn't he?
Mhm.
yeah.
And like, if this film was bad, do you know what I mean? It's
But
not
the
going to really do
prob-
him
the-
much
all
good.
the test audience said that like his parts were really good. To be fair,
it's kind of really saddening that they cancel a film that people liked his parts, and Hollywood has already put that man through the fucking ringer.
Release the Firefly cut.
Yeah, just release all his scenes. That's all we want. That's all we want.
You just know that this film's going to end up on some fucking obscure YouTube channel in 5 years as well.
Releasing on 1, 2, 3 movies next week. David
No, but it's not. It's going to be some fucking.
No.
It's going to be some fucking weird ass YouTube channel that's got 74 fucking subscribers. Somehow they're going to get a full 4K rip of the film, and it's just a bit. Where the fuck did you get it? Like,
When asked what David Zaslav thought, he responded, "This is not how this was supposed to go. I had it all planned out."
So yeah, but that is it for the news. Really, we don't have anything else to say.
I was trying to move us on, but I thought that you had a little surprise news story. That
Oh yeah, I do. It's only a little one. It's
you
teeny weeny.
you were alluding to.
But
and-
as I stated last week, I like alcohol.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed is getting its own whiskey. It's
Right.
also getting spiced rum and vodka as well to celebrate its 15th anniversary.
that sounds pretty cool.
it's only been
does.
out
The
for
bottles.
15 years.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Assassin's Creed
Assassin's
15
Creed
years.
feels like it's been out for fucking 30 odd years.
It's 15.
Fucking hell, man.
But yeah, so that's it. I want to pick up that whiskey because the label's really nice. The 15th anniversary logo for Assassin's Creed is really nice. I really like it.
You know what we should do, Ash? You
What?
should bring the AC whiskey and I'll go and get some fucking like triple distilled skooma or whatever. We'll just have a fun night. Like,
I'll buy the Destiny cookbook and I'll make
we have a full game night, guys.
There you go.
I'll make yalla doodles or something.
You know, if I fucking recover from COVID anyway, you know.
They're little
I'll be having you lot catch it.
Destiny cookies. It's what yalla doodles are.
And we make sweet rolls as well.
Oh Christ! Right,
Oh,
we're getting on. We're getting on.
Roll.
On a tangent.
No lollygagging.
This is
Okay.
this is supposed to be the Star Wars episode, and we haven't spoken about Star Wars yet. Okay.
Oh, he's ruined it!
He's ruined it.
It's better than anything.
Right, but yeah. So, what do we want to talk about first? Because I am probably the least versed in Star Wars, even though I like Star Wars.
Yabba.
The first thing on the slate was everyone's opinions on the current state of Star Wars and
Oh, I missed that.
your opinions on recent content.
Is he okay?
I just completely missed the fucking note saying opinions on Star
Because he was going into Andor, and that's why he said yabba.
Yeah, I just completely fucking missed
Oh
that.
god,
Like,
what a
we're
once again,
professional.
professionals. Yeah. So, in my opinion, bar some recent things, we're eating pretty good now with Star Wars.
It's decent now.
hmm If we forget most of the sequel trilogy happened.
Oh, the sequel.
Well, yeah. If we forget it happened, just a little bit. If we just forget about it a little bit, I think we've had pretty much the best Star Wars content that Disney have put out.
Take for that, boys. Oh, I thought you meant just in general.
No, not in general.
I can say that I haven't watched any Star Wars content since the second season of Mandalorian.
Yeah,
I mean,
so you're not really going to be.
I'd argue that like season 7 of Clone Wars and Mando's some of the like best content of Star Wars, if not the best.
Well, like, to think of season 7 in conjunction with the Revenge of the Sith, especially, like, it's perfection.
It's exquisite.
But
Yes, I agree. I have seen the Clone Wars.
man,
You don't even need to watch all the Clone Wars, Ash. Like, I know, like, I've watched it like 4 times.
we said
but, like,
this.
just watch the Siege of Mandalore arc. It's so good.
50% of the Clone Wars is like filler,
Yeah.
and it still manages to be great TV.
Like we've said numerous times, and we are Rebels is a vastly like more consistent show
Mm-hmm.
than the Clone Wars, but
I'm
the
a
Clone
rebel.
Wars just has better
I
highs.
rebel.
Yeah,
they cut that line. It's fine.
They did cut that line. But
So, like,
yeah, it seems like everyone's liking what they're bringing out.
You say that. I don't think this man was on Twitter at all during
Kenobi.
Book of Boba Fett or Kenobi.
Yeah, you know.
Do you mean Mandalorian season 3?
No, Mandalorian season 2.5. Ash, get it right.
Sorry.
I like, and like everyone hated those shows. Like especially Kenobi. People like really hated Kenobi. I loved it.
Can I bring a point of what you said last night to us all?
What?
That like Ewan McGregor just really embodies
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I've seen clips of that, and I'm like, fucking hell, yeah. He does just sound like Alec Guinness.
To his credit, like he is Obi-Wan Kenobi because Alec Guinness got 2 movies out of it, and Obi-Wan Kenobi's been doing it for years.
No, he had 3.
Oh yeah, he was in Return, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Oh, look at me. Take my Star Wars fan card away from me,
what the
everyone.
fuck?
Oh god. But like Obi-Wan, like Ewan McGregor does like a really good job of sounding like Alec Guinness.
Yeah.
And like looking like him as well.
I find it hard to like fathom, you know, the fans who are like, "Oh, how did he change from Ewan McGregor to Alec Guinness?" And
because he lived on a planet with 2 fucking suns.
Like
he's also not far off.
Like also
that age anyway.
I'm pretty sure Alec Guinness, like people brought up photos of Alec Guinness aging the amount that Obi-Wan would have aged, and like Alec Guinness gets really old in real life in the amount of time. It's just a madness. I thought Kenobi
like poetry.
It rhymes.
I thought Kenobi was I thought it was very good. It was a bit fluffy. Like
I've seen the final fight, and I really like there's one move that happens. I think it's like they're both like locked sabers. And there's one like twisty move that he does. I'm like, that's fucking great.
But like,
that's fucking awesome.
My opinions on Kenobi having fluff in it is more the problem with the Disney Plus format of 6 episodes for a show than is the problem with Kenobi itself.
Yes, they do tend to put a lot of fluff in.
Yeah, but I think bar the sequel trilogy, Star Wars content itself, very good at the moment.
Like Boba, like
me and you,
like obviously Ash doesn't really watch the shows, but
no,
me and you were always pretty much in agreement, aren't we? That like even though like it wasn't great,
it was a bit
there was a lot of shit in it, but it was a fun show. Like
this is where
my Morrison was having fun, you could tell.
This is where my ethos of something doesn't need to be perfect as long as it's fun.
And then we completely disregard that logic when it comes to the MCU because we're completely biased.
Well, I don't disregard that logic with the MCU. It's just the MCU struggles to be fun. We were talking about this the other night.
There's making sense as well.
Yeah.
We were talking about this the other night where we were talking about jokes that we find genuinely funny in the MCU, and I was saying my mind drew a blank, and I couldn't think of anything outside of like Ragnarok that was funny.
It's just not good.
But then to elaborate further on the current state of Star Wars, the fan base,
they just seem to be getting worse.
We can put them in the bin.
We had a guy comment on our TikTok the other day, didn't we?
That they don't have a problem with the actors; they have a problem with the stories and the writing.
The Simon Pegg TikTok.
Yes,
yeah, it's the fact that Boba gave Boba a personality, and he's not just a fucking toy anymore.
Yeah, and it sort of that is all the way back in the first episode we talked about like how Star Wars fans are toxic, and I put up an image of fans reacting to what's the actress's name?
Moses Ingram.
Yes,
Moses Ingram. That was awful.
They reacted very badly to her playing a character because she was a woman of color.
But
He did a
you've got to
fantastic job in Kenobi.
think of like Moses Ingram, Daisy Ridley, Kelly Marie Tran, Ahmed
Star Wars fans have always had a way
like even
of
going back as
out
far
of their
as
way.
like Ahmed Best.
Yeah, they went
Yeah.
out of their way just
Lloyd.
to bully people.
Yeah, Jake Lloyd. Like
He gave up acting, didn't he?
He
Because
gave
of the
up, yeah.
abuse.
Star Wars fans have always been, and well, we use we use the word fans. It's a very probably small vocal minority of Star Wars fans. We're not
But
writing
they're
you
the
all off.
loudest.
They're just
Because-
entitled little bitches, and they need to go to their parents' basement, go outside and touch some fucking grass.
Because I'm a Star Wars fan, and I'm imagining
Yeah,
we're
so
all
am
Star
I.
Wars fans, and I've never felt the need to bully a woman off social media because I didn't like the way they acted a character.
I have a lot of
No.
issues with a lot of Star Wars, but like I've never thought, yeah, you know what? I'm going to use my time to go and make this person want to kill themselves.
So I think this topic here is just to give us all a good basis of just how we feel about Star Wars, how much we know.
Modern Star Wars. Anyway.
Modern Star Wars.
Before we move on, going back to the Boba Fett show and like him giving Boba a personality.
Yeah.
I said to you too last night that in preparation for this episode, I watched Story of the Faithful Wookiee.
Are we going to slot that in here?
Yeah, because it kind of
Yeah.
fits here. And like for those who don't know, Story of the Faithful Wookiee is the first introduction of Boba from the holiday special.
Oh, the fucking
And
holiday special.
It's like the only piece of the holiday special that's like widely available, and it's on Disney Plus. And like, I only wrote down one note because it's only 9 minutes, and my note was Boba got more personality in this than any of the films.
Well, it's just a given, though, isn't it?
Like he actually speaks more than one fucking word in that, and like it was good.
We've had this discussion multiple times, but until this year, well, last year, Boba Fett only existed to sell action figures.
It worked, though, didn't it? How many Boba Fett toys have we got? Al?
Thanks, wow. How many have I got personally? That's
I have 4, not
Okay,
including 3 3/4.
I have 4 as well.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I can laugh at you guys, but I have a Mandalorian hot toy, so I really cannot say a thing.
My
Give
Saw
me a year
Gerrera,
and I'll also shut the fuck up about Saw Gerrera.
he's over there still.
Shut up.
He's within arm's reach.
Shut up.
But talking about Saw Gerrera, the next thing that he's in, baby, Andor. We're going on to that now.
I saw the first trailer for Andor. I haven't seen the most recent one.
I'm gonna full transparency. I didn't watch the trailer because I simply do not care.
See, this is the thing. Like, Cassian Andor,
Bad character.
like I said, I think Cassian Andor is as interesting as sandpaper. But this show looks really good.
Fuck's sake.
But he has been in this fight.
Since he was 6 years old.
Yeah.
But this show
But-
looks really good.
It's shot on location, isn't it? Or whatever.
Yeah,
or
that-
practical.
See,
sort of
I
locations.
because I didn't write this down, I made a mental note of it. Yeah, they're not using the volume for this show. The
Which
volume
I
for,
like.
the volume for anyone unfamiliar is the big LCD panel screens that they use in The Mandalorian to do background shots.
Yeah, I don't mind them using the volume, but when they use it all the time, it
The
does.
Like, the volume looks really good. Like, they made the Batman using it.
Yeah.
Or the technology, not the volume specifically. And the Batman looks fucking incredible. But, like, I don't mind the technology, but to see this show going back and, like, going, on location and stuff, it just looks really cool.
Yes.
I just think this show looks really high production. Like, I don't get why the show about Cassian Andor looks like it has a higher budget than Obi-Wan and the Book of Boba Fett. 2 very well established characters, and then we've got the most interesting Star Wars character getting not only the longest show because it's going to be 12 episodes, but probably the highest budget show as well.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It is really weird.
But this might sound like I'm bashing on it, but I'm genuinely really hyped for this.
Yeah, no, I probably will eventually check it out, like I do with all the shows. but not when it comes out.
Like, you've not watched the second trailer, and the second trailer sort of it gives away a bit more than the first trailer.
Like I said in the group chat the other day, I don't really care. I'm more than likely not going to watch it.
Well, I told you that Saw Gerrera was in it. There he is again, Forrest
And I
Whitaker.
said I'm definitely not going to watch it because
Definitely
I
not.
fucking hate Saw Gerrera.
But like this show kind of looks like a bit Mission Impossible, bit spy thriller, just all set in Star Wars, and it
I
just
like
looks
that.
pretty cool. It just looks like Rogue One again, which is a very good film in my
I loved
opinion.
Rogue One. Loved
That's the
Rogue
thing. I
One.
really like Rogue One. It's just I
all of
didn't
the
need more.
Is the problem is that all of the characters in Rogue One are they're just boring nothing characters.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but she's a rebel.
she rebels.
I'm so glad they cut that line out.
If someone makes that fucking joke one more time today, I'm gone, boys. I tell you.
Bogala or
She's
she's a rebel.
Go away.
Have you come to kill me?
But yeah,
I'm really excited for this.
It's kind of interesting how
Um,
they're bringing out an Andor series.
it got delayed. It was coming out on August 31st originally, and now it's been delayed nearly a whole month to September 21st. But along with that delay, they're premiering it with 3 episodes.
Pretty good.
I'm quite worried about that, though,
Why?
because Kenobi doesn't really pick up for the first 2 episodes, and they premiered it with 2 episodes.
Oh no!
So it's kind of a trend with Disney Plus content that they sort of premiere larger chunks of something if it's a bit boring.
Oh.
So I'm worried that this, especially considering that's what it's a quarter of the series being premiered on one day. Like, I'm worried that the first 3 episodes probably aren't going to be very strong if they feel the need to put all 3 of them out at once.
Yeah, that's pretty scuffed.
So I have my reservations on it because Cassian Andor, pretty boring character.
But he might be more interested in the show with
I think
more to work with.
And obviously, my
flesh him out.
favorite character, Saw Gerrera, isn't it? Forrest Whitaker coming back with the Forrest Whitaker eye.
Funny thing is, I say like, "Oh, I'm not gonna watch it." I'm a slut for Star Wars.
You're
I'm
going to
gonna watch it.
The only other point I have in relation to this, and it's not specific to Andor, is that this is a wider issue as well, is that they recast Mon Mothma for Rogue One, and she's back in this show, and like she looks the fucking spits of Mon Mothma. Why haven't they done it for Luke Skywalker yet? Just do it, please. It just looks better. Like having a real person there on set in this show looks better than the weird CGI Luke Skywalker that we have in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. Makes me angry and saying this through gritted teeth. Fix it.
He just sounds like a fucking incel, doesn't he?
He really does. This man really needs to touch some grass.
yellow. No.
Yeah, but you're all laughing at me, but you all agree with my point.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're not. You got very passionate. I think that's the most passionate you've ever gotten about.
Why are you
anything.
proving me I'm right?
Fucking hell, man.
But yeah, to say it seriously, it's that just have a real person there, please. It just looks so much better.
It does. It really does. You can just tell the difference.
And like, it's worse with Luke as well because they're taking it in such to an extreme that they're using AI to reconstruct his voice and they're CGIing his face and everything.
Ickiness.
Like, it's going to get to the extent that they just don't need a real person there anymore. But it just looks better with a real person. But
yeah,
that's
definitely does.
That's me done for.
You got that out your system?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
That's me done for Andor.
So, anyone want to move on to what we're doing next? Because
this one's going to be a.
I don't feel qualified at all to talk in this episode, even though I like Star Wars.
Well, yeah, but this is the thing. Up against me, none of you were qualified.
No,
I kind of hold my own.
But we're gonna get to my joke top 5 characters later.
Only when it comes to fucking, obscure characters that nobody has any fucking right knowing, and you're just like, yeah, that's this person.
Like Representative Bean.
Oh no, I know him. I've got a toy of him. From when
Yeah, I know. But it's like he could probably tell you his whole backstory.
No, I
Yeah.
can't. I don't know anything about Representative Bean,
Big fan.
unfortunately. Fake fan. Revoke my license. The next segment is ranking the Skywalker saga. You specifically chose the 9 films in the Skywalker saga
Yeah.
because
I'm going off the cuff for this one again.
because, to my knowledge, neither of these idiots have watched Solo.
Can I go first?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so in last place,
Mm-hmm.
I've got Phantom Menace.
What?
What?
Then I've got Attack of the Clones.
What?
Okay.
Then I've got Return of the Jedi.
Mm-mm.
I've got A New Hope. Then I've got Empire Strikes Back. And the best film is Revenge of the Sith, because, there is only 6 Star Wars films because the sequels don't exist.
With all respect, right? Are you mentally deficient?
Why?
Well, he's not.
Because what the fuck was that?
I mean, it does.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Well, the fact that, I didn't put in the fraud sequels, or the fact that Attack of the Clones isn't the worst, or Revenge of the Sith.
It's the fact that you put Phantom Menace below Attack of the Clones. I think
Phantom Menace is a better film, but Attack of the Clones is more enjoyable. There's more going on in it.
Those two films are exactly the same quality.
Yeah, it's just Phantom Menace takes fucking 2 hours to get to the good bit, whereas Attack of the Clones is decent bit sprinkled through.
If we're going by sequels, without sequels first, because that's what you've done.
But
I'm just not including them. They're all trash. I hate them all. Last Jedi's a sin.
Yeah, but if we're going to include the sequels in his list, they're all 3 of them at the bottom, and it goes The Force Awakens, The Rise of Skywalker, and The Last Jedi. I know where they'd go in his list.
Force Awakens is the better one out of them, then Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi, but they're all trash. I hate them all.
See, Attack of the Clones is right at the bottom for me. Attack of the Clones, then Rise of Skywalker, then Phantom Menace. But
you can carry on with your list if you want.
God, I'm going off the cuff. I am going off the cuff here.
What would you like me to go with mine then, whilst you Okay, so in last place for me is The Rise of Skywalker. Then it's The Last Jedi. Then it's Attack of the Clones. Then The Phantom Menace. Then Return of the Jedi. The Force Awakens. A New Hope. ESB. Revenge of the Sith.
Man after my own heart, putting Revenge of the Sith at number 1. Let's go, baby!
It's like I've said multiple times. It's not the best Star Wars film. It's just the one I enjoy the most. Like,
okay,
I feel like it's the most quotable as well. Sorry, Ash.
So it's Attack of the Clones, Rise of Skywalker, The Last Jedi, Phantom Menace. What haven't I said?
Any of the
Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, and then interchangeable is A New Hope and Empire.
Yeah. I want to say that with my list as well, as the Empire and A New Hope are pretty interchangeable on my list.
I'd probably say that as well.
Depends on
with
the
the
mood.
Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. Like, I think that A New Hope and Empire are probably they're the same quality.
I kind of struggled with Revenge of the Sith because last time I watched Revenge of the Sith, I got very bored.
I'm surprised that neither of you have completely jumped down my throat for saying that The Force Awakens is a better film than Return of the Jedi.
I don't think Return of the Jedi is a good film.
I
think it's a very messy film. I'm just not a big fan of it.
I'm not a big fan of it either.
I'd prefer it to. Yeah.
I think The Force Awakens in isolation is a very good Star Wars film.
Yeah, I really enjoy it, but I don't know. It's just that whole original trilogy is it wraps up really well. It's got everything.
It does. It has its issues. I watched.
It has its issues. 100%.
And like, despite the fact that I did give A New Hope 5 stars on Letterboxd, like, a lot of that is to do with the fact that if we didn't have A New Hope, we wouldn't have Star Wars.
But the thing is, I can see you got to look at New Hope as it is. It is very much a
product
space. It's a space opera in like the style of like Flash Gordon, but it's also got this hint of fantasy within it, and it's also got this hint of old samurai films and, you know, dystopias and westerns. It's got a lot going on for the time. That film is incredibly imaginative. The first three are incredibly imaginative for the time. The same
holds up so well as well. Like,
the same with the prequels. The prequels, doesn't matter what you think of the story, the effect for the time were incredibly innovative. And
that's the problem with the sequel trilogy, in my opinion, is there's either no imagination or the imagination is taken way too far.
Yes.
And like not having a plan when you make 3 movies. Big bad idea.
But the thing is, you can kind of do it without a plan, because really the original trilogy didn't have a plan.
Yeah, but
most of it.
You know. So are we all wrapped up then with our
Yeah, I feel like there would be more arguments, but I can
that's the thing,
go, I can go more into it later. Controversial.
Yeah, well, I think the controversial opinion is the one that's going to take. But that's going to be the official end of the podcast, and that we won't be friends after that one.
Yeah.
So the next thing would be our top 5 Star Wars characters and our bottom 5 Star Wars characters.
This one I struggled with a lot, because I know you guys are going to be like, everyone from the Clone Wars is.
I want to get my top 5 out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Odi Mandrell, Gasgano, Mars Guo, Rats Terrell, and Ben Quadraneros.
Can I say my top 5 now?
God.
I like how, did no one acknowledge So
I just heard a lot of funny words.
Those are,
you carry on now.
Those are
my
5.
Top 5: Elon Sleazebargano, Messi 6, Yariel Poof, Broom Boy, and then Max Rebo and the Jizz Whalers.
The whole band?
Yeah. Just had to get the Jizz Whalers a mention, like.
So for anyone who doesn't know, the 5 characters that I just picked, then they're all pod races from the Bantha Eve Classic.
Yeah.
I didn't need to Google any of those names to get them.
Oh God! And this is
it's a 22-year-old man here, everyone, that just knows the name of pod races from Star Wars, just off the cuff. But there you go. We've got our joke. We've got the jokes out of the system. You know, haha, very funny.
I mean,
and we
know what I'm like with top 5s.
There's someone called there's a band called the fucking Jizz Whalers in Star Wars. Like,
well, that's smooth jizz, isn't it?
Star Wars music is just called jizz. You know, you want to get on your whatever the instruments are called. I don't know.
No, but like, it's not the first time I'm hearing it. It's just that I still can't get over it.
Well, it's just jizz all over the place, isn't it? So
yeah.
Can we start with our worst?
Putting smooth jizz out into the world.
You want to start with our worst characters and then move into our best?
I'd like to go first on this one.
Yeah, go for it.
My 5th worst character is C-3PO.
Oh, you're only gonna done it, boys.
I feel like C-3PO is on your list as well. I don't like C-3PO. I think the only film that I like C-3PO in is The Rise of Skywalker, and I don't like that film. I think he's the only interesting character in that entire movie.
You might not recognize him because of the red arm.
It's gonna make that joke, you fucking prick.
Fuck's sake. I just don't like C-3PO. There's something about him.
Master of disguise.
I hate him with a passion.
Okay.
My 4th worst character, Bombad, Jar Jar Binks. Misa Jar Jar Binks.
Okay.
That's a bit harsh, I feel. But it's
like the problem is he was gonna go somewhere, and then they took away his his entire story arc, and they're like, no.
I felt bad doing it, but like he just doesn't do it for me. Especially like his Clone Wars episodes as well.
Oh, the one with Mace Windu, like.
Not just all of them. I still haven't finished my Clone Wars rewatch because I've got to those episodes and I've stopped.
I hate the fucking Naboo arc. I forget what the virus is. The blue
shadow virus. Yeah.
I hate that fucking.
Oh yeah, same. I hate that too. Oh,
I like that's just shite. But like, I know it's your list, but like I just want to interject and
No,
say
like I agree. I agree that I've been
I feel
harsh, but like
like
I can't. I just can't. I just don't like him.
I feel like Jar Jar is kind of like a relic in time, isn't he? At this
Mhm.
point, like he's of that time period.
My third worst Star Wars character, Cal Kestis.
Fuck, I forgot about him.
I hate him. The
I
most,
would have put him on my list. What the fuck? I forgot about him.
exactly, you forgot about him. The most boring and forgettable Star Wars character, and you have to play an entire game as him. That's the worst bit. You have to be him
Yeah,
for an entire video game.
as someone who has platinum that game, and I played a lot of that game is when you first play it, you're like this. Like when you're actually getting into it, and you're actually in like a lightsaber fight, you're like this. This feels good. This feels satisfying. But for the majority of the time, that character is completely boring, and the
so
game is
busy,
utter jank. It is broken.
The
I'd like to
worst thing is
reiterate a
that
point that Al made last week, saying that game did the absolute bare minimum needed
Yes.
to make a fucking Star
I mean,
Wars game.
I think the combat is really good.
the worst
I
thing
think
with
the
that
combat
is like with Cal Kestis as a character as well is he's surrounded by a cast of like actual likable like supporting characters.
yeah.
But then
Most of the
there's just him.
time, it just looks like they've pasted his face onto like the most emotionless thing ever. Like he just doesn't react to anything most of the time.
You know, if you had that game, right, but
Mhm.
instead of having Cal Kestis, you had Galen Marek,
Just bad game.
Star Killer, for like anyone who doesn't know, from
Mhm.
Force Unleashed. It'd just be a better game. Like the main issue with
Would
that
it be a
game for
better
me,
game? I don't know.
yeah, but the main issue with that game for me is just how fucking boring and unlikable Cal is.
Yeah,
Like
but
there's talks of him coming in. Go on.
my main issue with that game is on Dathomir when you have Night Brothers fucking T-posing towards you, asserting their dominance, and then some weird spider creature just appearing out of fucking nowhere and killing me.
So before we get too hung up on Cal Kestis, because I can see I've opened a lot of
Yeah.
wounds here. My second worst Star Wars character, Rose Tico.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Nothing against Kelly Marie Tran.
No.
If anything,
Again,
heartfelt sympathies to the woman who was bullied off social media by Star Wars fans.
again, most of the actors we like,
But
but
she is just such a poorly written character. It is awful. Like her purpose in The Last Jedi could be better served by Poe Dameron, or better yet, could be removed from the film entirely.
because all she does
it's
is
an awful,
ruin
it's
story arcs.
it literally starts an awful plot line, and
Yep.
it just doesn't need to be in the film. And if you're insistent on keeping it in the film, it makes more sense if you put Poe Dameron in her role.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it kind of it ruined, like, her existence as a character ruined Finn's story completely.
And I hate in The Rise of Skywalker that they specifically write dialogue for her to say that she's not coming on the adventure with everyone. They specifically give her dialogue to write herself out of the story, as opposed to just not including her at all.
And then they give lines to like random like soldiers and
they
stuff.
give lines to all of J.J. Abrams' friends who he cast in the movie.
It is, yeah. No, I agree with her being top 5
curious
worst.
to see who's your number one. Who's your worst one?
My number one worst character from all of Star Wars is Kazuda Xiono, the lead character of Star Wars Resistance.
The fuck?
I didn't watch it.
It was a Disney XD show. It was made exclusively for children, as I found out after I watched both seasons of it.
So it's not like the Clone Wars where, you know, it caters to adults as well. It's specifically a kid show.
Specifically a kid show, and I watched.
Don't watch it.
Don't watch it. I watched 2 seasons of it. And pretty much any character from that show could have gone in the top slot, but I picked the protagonist because I felt like that was the most appropriate to pick the main character of the show as the worst Star Wars character. But anyone from that show could have filled my top 5, but you wouldn't have had a clue who I
well,
was
it's a
talking about.
Disney XD show. While you were watching that, the cool kids were watching Phineas and Ferb.
Well, I'm
so, 4 days of summer vacation. It's good comes along just to add that.
like just infuriating.
How the fuck did either of those boys get their t-shirts on?
Well, they probably, instead of putting it over their heads, they had to like put them on like they would trousers and put their legs through the neck hole and then lift it up.
Well, they just didn't animate, but they only wear button-down shirts.
But they got some fucking skinny ass necks as well. Like,
Wait,
so
do you ever see their backs? They might have like a zip.
Phineas has an absolute schnoz on him, like.
What are you on about?
Yeah, but Ferb's head is like rectangular, and Phineas just has the schnoz.
It may be like you get cloth accessories with action figures where they velcro up at the back. It may just be it may just be wearing fucking velcro shirts. Anyways, we've gone on a fucking tangent again.
I'm the only one who's got through their top 5 worst Star Wars characters, and we've started talking about Phineas and Ferb somehow.
Right, Ash, do you want to go next, or do you want me to go next?
You could go next because I'm still thinking.
Okay,
so
at number 5, the worst characters in Star Wars. I've kind of cheated a little. It's Trace and Rapper.
Well, that's fine. I'm not
counting them as one because I fucking despise them both.
I'm not.
They're in the Clone Wars, Ash.
Oh, of course they are.
Trace and Rapper Martez.
They're literally in season 7, Ahsoka's big return. Trace and Rafa are there, and they're just annoying, and they just don't need to be there. Like, I fucking hate them both. Just die.
So it's Trace and Rapper.
Rafa.
Oh, I thought you were saying like rapper, like prapper. Rapper.
Every single day, stress comes in every way.
I ain't got my penis in the car door.
Bye.
Sorry. Continue.
Okay, so my number 4 is character.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna like it, all.
Am I not?
It's Saw Gerrera.
Have you come to kill me?
I hate him in Fallen Order. I hate him in Rogue One. I hate him in Rebels. I hate him in the Clone Wars. Just go away.
I'll give you the Clone Wars point. That one I'll give you, because I don't like his Clone Wars episodes either. But I really like his Rebels episode.
Yeah, but what about Jedi Fallen Order?
I'm indifferent to him in Fallen Order. If anything, he's part of like the best sequence in Fallen Order. So
when he turned up, I was like, "Oh, fuck off."
And obviously, we all know how much of a big Saw head I am. A Gerrera fan. You know, I just love him in Rogue One so much. He does nothing for the whole film. He limps around on his little robot leg and puffs from his gas mask, and he says just the most insane shit. And for some reason, I just love it.
He's a fucking terrorist.
Yeah, but all of the rebels are terrorists.
No, they're freedom fighters.
He's
a fucking terrorist.
What's the difference?
Everybody loves a bit of a bad boy.
Yeah, not a fucking terrorist though, Chris.
If anyone gets that, I'm gonna be really happy.
Number 3.
The deal with terrorists?
Off Seinfeld.
Number 3.
Number 3's Ray.
No, I'll give you that.
I just don't like her.
Yeah, I think definitely maybe the first film she's pretty passable because
I don't mind her Force Awakens.
Just
second film
pisses me off, and then Rise of Skywalker, she takes it to a fucking another level where I just absolutely despise her.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker, she's just a nasty person.
She is.
I think if Rise of Skywalker didn't exist, I don't think she'd be on this list.
Also, if Rise of Skywalker went for she turns evil, and Kylo turns good,
it would have made more sense.
Kills her. It would have made way more sense, and that Skywalker bit at the end would make way more sense and not piss everyone off.
She's a horrible
Skywalker, even though I was fucking mean to most Skywalkers.
He's gonna do it.
Who are you?
Ray.
Ray who?
Shadow Legends.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll agree with that one.
Uh,
Not as
this
controversial as
podcast
I
is
thought.
this podcast is about to lose a member.
Oh no.
My
It's gonna-
second worst worst character in Star Wars. You probably don't recognize him because of the red arm.
Go fuck off.
C-3PO, I fucking hate him.
So do I.
Go fuck yourself.
I fucking despise C-3PO. Like, fuck off.
Why do you like C-3PO so much?
He's the most annoying fucking character going.
He's not he may be annoying, but he's not in the fucking top 5 worst.
Yeah,
R2's
That
better.
man-
Chopper's better.
Yeah, R2's obviously better, but you've got all these fucking other people.
K2SO is better.
K2SO, the
That
dog
man,
from
you could say
Rebels.
he's the worst, but he does so much. He literally, like, for the original trilogy, if it weren't for him and R2, they would not be surviving anything.
Yeah, I don't care if they wouldn't survive anything. He
Yeah,
gets
I
on
just
my
don't like
nerves
him.
and I hate him.
He pisses me off. Every scene he's in, he annoys me.
Go fuck yourselves.
No.
I mean, in the sequels, I could definitely see where you're coming from.
No, because he's the only time I've ever liked C-3PO was in The Rise of Skywalker. It's the only time I've ever liked
Yeah,
him.
but he has that fucking stupid, oh, I'm gonna die. Oh, we'll
yeah,
miss you.
I don't
Nobody
like-
fucking knows you.
I don't like that point.
My
That's
favourite
the
scene
problem
of
with it.
C-3PO. My favourite scene is in A New Hope where he asks Luke if he can power down and then he proceeds to power down.
My favorite scene is in The Rise of Skywalker when Babu Frick basically makes his head explode and he doesn't remember anything.
I don't think he deserves. Like, he's definitely not great, but he doesn't deserve to be in the number 1 worst
Number 2.
character.
Number 2.
Oh, number 2. Sorry.
I fucking hate him. I genuinely
No,
despise
he
him.
doesn't deserve to be all the way down there. I can understand you don't like him, but fucking hell. Gosh.
Can any of you guess my number 1?
I mean, wait, just before you move on, taking an average of where C-3PO has ended up on these lists, it would be 3.5. So, he's the 3.5 worst character. And he also does get blown in half in episode
does.
5, so it's fine. That's fine.
Fucking Christ.
I like him.
The number 1 worst character in all of Star Wars. It's going to be
We're not-
Rose. It's
It
gonna
is
have-
Rose.
There
It
we
is
go.
Rose. We're not gonna stay on it too much because obviously we've covered that. But yeah, nothing against whatever her fucking name is.
Kelly
Yeah.
Marie Tran, yeah.
But like next time, let the rebel kill himself to have a good arc, and don't be an annoying little rat.
It just makes it
Um,
so much worse
yeah.
that he does nothing in The Rise of Skywalker as well.
Yeah.
He just-
Moving
he just-
on.
Ash is top 5 worst characters in all of
This
Star
is
Wars.
really hard.
He's
Because
gonna
I've
put
got a-
3PO as his best character now as well, isn't he? Just to
Yeah, I'm
fucking
gonna
spite
just to
us.
fucking spite you two. You go in there. And no, the one that's at the top, I don't think I can get rid of as the top.
He's going to be your second best character then.
I don't know if I can get rid of my second either. So maybe third, maybe
Your
third.
third best. No.
I've fucking 1 to 5 Saw Gerrera. Fuck you.
Oh,
I'm going.
he's doing it despite me now, specifically.
The problem is I've seen the films
That's it.
and some of like bare minimum fucking Clone Wars. So I really fucking
Yeah.
it's very hard for me because I've got
mean,
to I've got to rank them based on the films and not all of the information that you have
Yeah.
based on the Clone Wars. I mean, fucking hell! I might have to put Saw Gerrera in there because he just does fucking. In Rogue One, what did he do?
Commit acts
What?
of terrorism.
Not run away.
Not run away. Yeah, like a dickhead.
Go! I will run no longer.
Fuck, this one's hard. Yeah, fuck yeah, you'll go at number 5. Fuck, this is. Oh, Dio. Fucking Dio can get in the bin. Dio can just get in the fucking bin. Fuck off, JJ. We know you directed it. You don't need a voice in it as well. So Dio's in there. I'm not doing it in any specific order because it's a lot harder when you don't know all of the information. Oh, this is really fucking difficult. Oh, I have one, but it's to do with my geekly confession. And
No,
I
no, no, no,
fucking,
no, 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 no.
yeah, I fucking despise this character, so I'm gonna leave that as a secret.
Yeah,
but I think
yeah.
it'd be number
Okay.
one.
Wow,
And I
well,
think
keep that then.
I think you will understand why.
Keep that then.
Then how many have I done? Oh,
You've done 3 technically, yeah.
Oh, 3. Fuck.
Subulba.
Josh and Al for putting C3PO in the
Ah.
top list.
Right,
Right, yeah, fuck it, it's you two. You two are the you two are the
You can try now.
You two are the 2 worst characters in Star Wars.
You've made Alex's son cry.
It's
Are
crying
you
now.
proud of
Yeah.
yourself?
It's very hard for me to rank worst characters because it's very hard to tell.
That's
for me.
fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't have such a wealth of characters to pick from.
He doesn't have the Wikipedia to draw from.
Yeah. So yeah.
Right.
You two are the worst on my list.
Best characters.
Let's go. Let me get my list up quickly. Number 5, Din Djarin. Bom. Just love him. Just love him. I know. In the grand scheme of things, we've not really had a lot of him, but my god, I just love him.
No, we have though.
We have, yeah. That's a lie. I love Pedro
He's
Pascal.
probably the most one of the most portrayed characters, isn't he?
I love Pedro Pascal's sexy face. I love his laser-proof armor. I love that he just doesn't have a clue about what anything happening in Star Wars. Like, is that a bench? Yeah, I just love him. There's nothing else I can say. I just love him. I love him. I just love him. Number 4, Ahsoka Tano.
I'm no Jedi.
I'm no Jedi.
Who's she?
Fuck off.
Well, like I've seen like barely anything of.
So
yeah,
mainly based on the Clone Wars because she has been in the Mandalorian a little bit, but
she's sick in Rebels as well.
Yeah, she is sick, but like just top tier character in the Clone Wars.
What's that episode called? Twilight of the Apprentice, is it?
Twilight of the Apprentice. Yeah, that's the one where she fights Vader.
I know about that one.
Perfection. I've shown you that fight.
Yeah,
just the entire Siege of Mandalore arc.
Amazing. To watch her like grow from like literally a Padawan and then she goes all the way where she's like the most prominent Jedi in the galaxy, pretty much, other than Luke Skywalker. Do you know what I mean?
The next one is kind of a wild card, a la your 5th worst pick. It's no. Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader.
Oh,
this is number 3 because, like, as the whole character from Anakin to the end of Vader, just think it's fantastic. Especially like with Kenobi that just came out. The top ones are going to be a bit recency bias because
I can actually like see where that's coming from because his arc, even if you just take it as either just one trilogy at a time, like you could look at both trilogies separately and think, yeah, this person has a very good character arc and they serve a purpose. And
Hayden Christensen absolutely kills it in Kenobi.
It's beautiful, isn't it, to just see him come back and be welcomed with open arms.
I could have cried during that monologue between Obi-Wan and Vader, like in the final fight.
You didn't fail me. I killed Anakin Skywalker. It's so good.
I will do what I must. I just love it. I just love Anakin as well. I just think
I'm gonna go rewatch the fucking scene now after this.
Especially like the Clone Wars as well. The Clone Wars does a lot for Anakin, and you've said it before, and I'm gonna say it now. Matt Latner, he's Anakin Skywalker in my mind.
Yeah. As much as like we say we love
Hayden Christensen, like there's just more of it where it's that's the thing.
This is where the fun begins.
That man was in Timeless.
That man was in Timeless. So my second best character in all of Star Wars. Hello there.
What the fuck's your first?
You'll find out now.
The fuck? Okay.
But obviously, good old Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi himself.
What are we looking at, Ewan?
See, we're looking at sea otters. It's just you can't beat.
Talking
you obviously can because he's not at the top of my list. But
speaking of
Sea
Ewan
otters.
McGregor.
Yeah.
No. Tried watching Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, the other day.
Oh.
Turned it off after half hour.
Oh, what?
I think it's all right.
I
You did a-
was watching it. I was
you
like,
did a Parf.
okay, I probably don't have that much left. I'm like,
Parf.
I've been sitting here for a while now. I looked. I was half an hour in. I had an hour left. I was like, oh, I can't.
Parf,
I will go back and watch it.
Parf
I
gave
like-
it 50% on Letterboxd.
I'm going to watch it bit by bit, but I think
2.5
it is.
stars.
I hate it.
Yeah,
So-
I did lower it down. I had it at 3.
If
I
it
think-
wasn't a
I took
Harley
it
Quinn
to
film, it
half
would
star.
be way better. Just make it a Birds of Prey film. I
I
just
do.
think.
We got on a tangent again, boys.
But
Yeah.
yeah, speaking
for
of,
my-
he
for my
was
top-
good in it. That's what I just wanted to say.
For my top 4, I just don't think there's a lot to say. Well, for my top 5 in general, they're all just very good characters, and I don't really have a lot to say other than the fact that I just like them. But before we move on, Ewan McGregor is the real life Scott Pilgrim. Literally cheated on his wife to be with Mary Elizabeth Winstead, because who wouldn't?
What was the quote I said in the group chat the other day
Um,
when I was watching Birds of Prey?
That you'd let her step
that-
on you and you'd thank her for
you'd
it.
let her step
Oh, yeah.
on you.
Yeah,
And-
I'd say diolch yn fawr.
Yes.
Yeah, that was it.
which
is
means-
what Welsh for thank you. And then my number 1 Star Wars character of all time is Luke Skywalker.
Ooh.
Just has to be the guy, the fella, the guy, the dude. I was going into Tashi Station to pick up some
Pick up
power
some
converters.
Murders.
Some power converters.
Nah, I boo, but
Yeah.
he is a good character.
It's just like
Yeah.
Vegas Canyon back home.
Fucking.
I imagine I'll be going next because Ash is very underprepared.
I'm like,
I've got 4 of them. I'm trying to come up with my
Right.
5th.
I am a
I'll go
Jedi like
for
my
mine.
father before me.
So I've got an honourable mention for mine because I wanted to put him in my list so much, but I just couldn't get him in.
Yeah.
So my honourable mentions are 2.
Ooh.
Yes.
I wanted to get him in my top 5, but there just wasn't room.
Droid supremacy.
Oh, he's awesome, and he.
Meeble.
So my number 5. God.
That can easily be turned into a TIE fighter noise if you do it on an inhale. That probably peaked my microphone and didn't pick it up, I imagine.
This man,
It really did pique your mind.
this
Yeah.
man got a kid. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Kid didn't cry at that though, but he did when Ash called me the worst Star Wars character of all time, so booyah.
Oh, fuck off.
So yeah.
It's number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Din Djarin,
Ba-bum.
the Mandalorian.
Is it also because you love Pedro Pascal's sexy face?
It's funny you should say it. I remember my nan watching The Mandalorian. And do you know, episode 8, where,
Right.
he's almost dead in IG 11? Or is it 88? Which?
It's 88.
IG 88.
No,
No,
it is
it's not.
11.
It is 11. IG-88's the.
IG-88 isn't Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
What the IG droid in Mandalorian,
The
he takes his helmet off. I remember my nan messaging me something along the lines of, I thought he'd be better looking. I was thinking, hey, you like,
but my papi,
life is good, but
My-
it can be better.
life is good, but it can be better. My
Yeah, no,
papi.
he's just sick, and
hmm
so like, yeah.
Somehow the most oblivious, but also one of
Yeah.
the best. The best now. Does this look Jedi to you? Just
Best bounty hunter, like that there is in Star Wars. He's just awesome.
what about Cad Bane though?
I do love Cad Bane,
Pew.
but yeah, Mando, awesome.
Obviously.
Number 4. I'm actually going to swap this ranking around
Mhm.
because I want to put my number 4 above my number 3. So my
Okay.
number 4, good soldiers follow orders.
Good soldiers follow.
Captain Rex. Just because he's sick, isn't he?
I didn't really think of clones when yeah.
I love
Yes,
Rex. You know I love Rex.
Good soldier.
It's just
For the Republic!
watch those wrist rockets.
Those wrists.
He's
I mean,
I
like,
love
in
Rex.
in terms of just all of the clones, the Clone Wars just does huge
Yeah.
things for clones. Like the fact that I was sad when 99 dies.
Oh, done.
Because he just wanted to be like them.
It's still whoever said the
Yes.
Clone Wars was a kids show is severely wrong.
Like after like season 3, it's just genocide.
There's just war crime after war crime, and
There is literally a whole episode dedicated to General Grievous going to slaughter Night Sisters.
yeah.
Because Count Dooku is just sick of their shit and he's just like, go and kill them all.
I won't stay too long on Rex because obviously Ash doesn't really know him.
This is the
But,
problem.
Basically, Ash, he's the leader of the 501st. He's
I vaguely know who he is.
he's Anakin's like second in command.
He's the one with the buzz cut.
With a name that makes him sound like he should be a dog.
Yes.
So this guy was originally at number 4, but I bumped him up to number 3.
Yeah.
Maul.
Ooh.
Kenobi!
Kenobi!
I wanted Kenobi.
I'm surprised he's so high up, given that you don't like the final fight with him between him and Obi-Wan.
I mean, it's a good send off. I just wish there was more to it.
I really like it. I think it makes sense because
Yeah, I just wish it went on.
Just old men at that point.
Yeah, but Maul still moves. Like, he's fucking on cat, doesn't he?
Or Maul moves, does he?
Maul does move a bit, like.
Darth Maul, what that thing do?
Yeah, he's just sick, isn't he?
He is just sick. Funny thing is that Ray Parker's never voiced Darth Maul.
Sam Witwer just does things, and he
because it was Peter Serafinovich in Phantom Menace, isn't it? And then it's Sam Witwer through Clone Wars, and then also in Solo. Spoiler alert: he's in Solo. Sorry, you've not watched it.
Thanks.
I mean, I've seen the screenshot.
I hate that scene.
I've also seen your letterbox review when you say, "Why the fuck is he in the film?"
Yeah.
Because it leaves me with more questions than answers.
I just wish he wasn't in it. One of my big
Maul,
problems with Solo.
And I really hope we get more of it. I want the show of Maul.
I'd like a Crimson Dawn TV series that actually answers my questions from Solo.
He's one of the most interesting and underexplored, underutilized characters.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll stay on him for ages, so I'll move on. Number 2, Ahsoka.
Nah, we all know who was at number 1. No question about it.
I mean, we've been through Ahsoka already. We don't really.
Number 1, Anakin / Vader.
We didn't. That needs no introduction.
No.
Firmly bolstered by like Kenobi as well. Like Vader's fucking horrifying in that show.
Yeah, like the scene where he just walks through that like mining town in Mapuzo. I'm just like,
he's just like offing innocent people like at his will.
Sorry, mate.
Dragging fucking Kenobi through the fire, like it's over. Like now, like
it's
just
on
a
site.
scary motherfucker, and he's just a scary motherfucker.
It's literally, it's just always on site with Darth Vader.
Yeah, but Anakin, it's his story, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We knew exactly who was going to be a number 1. Like, even I knew who you were going to put in number 1.
It's just his story, yeah.
Ash, take the floor.
So, I think we've all got the same number 5.
What, Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Bobo.
I love Mando.
Have you?
What?
You haven't seen Mando?
I've seen pretty much
You've
most
seen
of
season
it.
1.
And I've seen some of season 2. I haven't finished season 2.
For some reason, I was under the impression that you've not seen any Mandalorian and that you bought the figure just because it looked cool.
Did you actually think that?
No, I knew he'd seen it. I didn't know he was more into season 2 than the last time I talked to him about it, but I knew he definitely finished season 1.
Well, the thing is, the Mandalorian just gives me the Western vibes, and that's the vibes that I love from Star Wars. Is the more backwater,
anything but my money.
Exactly. Yeah, like
a
for people who don't know, I love Firefly, and
jelly beans.
It's very much on par with that, and the character just it feels interesting having him. Number 4, Obi-Wan.
I've got DPI here on your list, Ash.
Just you fucking wait, alright?
Hello there.
Again, whose list is this?
Hello.
Hello there.
No. Obi-Wan. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
But
Of course I know him. He's me.
3, Luke Skywalker.
Wow, that
What?
surprises me.
What? Wait, what?
That fucking surprises me. I was for sure.
He's putting fucking C-3PO at number 1,
So,
isn't he?
number
I for sure thought Luke was going to be his number one.
number 2,
Yeah.
Babu Freak.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And number 1, Kit Fister.
I forgot.
You're Kit Fister, aren't you?
I am a true Kit Fister.
Ash is a true fister. Fister's right up.
In all fairness, though, Luke would be my number
Yeah,
one.
Luke,
But
you had to
But
make,
yeah.
he had to do the bit, like,
I had to put Babu Freak and Kit
I knew
Fister in there.
I knew if it was a serious one that Luke was your number one.
Luke would be number 1. Luke and Obi-Wan would be the top 2. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep it as Babu Freak and Kit Fister.
No, I'm happy with that. I'm happy leaving it like that. Once again, canonically, I'm pretty sure Sonic 06 is like your 3rd favorite game of all time. So
Yeah, and Sonic Forces is my favorite.
it's
Everything
on
you say on here is like just canon, isn't it? It's just
It's the
factual. Written into law.
Cinemenage lol.
I'm like George Washington. I cannot tell a lie. So
Oh,
everything
okay.
I've ever said on this podcast is 100% my firm beliefs.
So I've probably angered a lot of people.
There's
No.
a federal lawsuit coming somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah, fucking hell.
Right.
It's
that-
time.
It's
The
time.
Geekly Confession time.
It is.
You're now tuned in to Geekly Confessions, where these 3 idiots share some things they may or may not be ashamed of. So sit back, relax, and prepare for some easy listening with Geekly Confessions.
So, this week, obviously, it's going to be a Star Wars Geekly Confession,
Star Wars theme.
it's quite a special one this week.
Oh.
Because it's a joint one.
Oh.
For the surprise for this Geekly Confession.
If you don't know what just happened to my face, have you seen it? Do you know the video of Homelander when he realizes that everyone still loves him and the smile goes up on his face? That was me just now. All right.
Do you know what it is?
You both watched Solo.
We
We
did.
did. We both watched Solo, and
Yay.
I think we
Love
have
that.
some things to say about it. Like,
A
definitely.
lot of notes on this film.
I don't have that many.
Do you want me
No,
to get my
fair enough.
letterbox review up? Because
No.
I have that. Because I have my notes
What
are
I'm going to
already.
say is, we aren't going to be friends at the end of this.
No, don't you dare say that.
We are not going to be friends.
No, you're wrong. All right.
Okay,
But,
I'll tell a lie.
so one of my notes at the beginning, anyway. This is just a less visually interesting opening crawl because there's literally just words on the screen. You're like, okay. I didn't need the little introduction bit with the words because it's just telling me information that I never used again.
You're
Josh,
tearing me apart. You're
Yeah.
going down a path I can't follow.
Just... I'll let you go through your notes
all right,
first,
okay.
and then I'll go through mine because, like, I've got a lot. And like,
So-
I'm
Just
just
gonna
gonna
sit, I'm just gonna sit silent until the end.
So he,
Well, no, you can interject, Al, if you want. Like,
I'm going to say that
No.
he does not feel like Han Solo. He doesn't feel like Han Solo to me
Not
the
at
way he
all.
plays it. No, nothing against him as an actor. I just don't think it was the right call to be playing Han Solo. I really enjoyed do you know that alien queen thing? Do
Yeah,
you know the was it like
Yeah.
a mob boss or whatever?
yeah.
Really liked the design
Well-
of that. That was actually really, really cool.
Lady
Really-
Proxima.
Yeah, that one.
Lady Proxima.
Really enjoyed that. And there was a lot of exposition in the beginning. That first bit. Like, it just seemed like they were driving along and they were, like, stating the obvious a lot.
I've admitted in my letterbox review that I have problems with this film.
Yes.
Like,
But I have a note here in all capitals, and I think this was the bit just after the stupid scene where he's like, "Oh, you're by yourself, solo."
So yeah, I
Fuck
don't
off.
like that. I don't like
mine
that scene.
literally says in capitals, "Oh, fuck off! Don't play the music like that shit was good, you stupid fucks."
I just
was that? Sorry.
When
a
it
bit.
goes, "You're by yourself."
Solo.
Dun, 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 dun.
And then it played the little motif of Star Wars. Yeah, go fuck off. That you didn't do anything there. You did not do anything there.
You've not done anything.
But I feel like we should just both go through it and talk about individual things we liked. Definitely. What did you think of the first act?
Trash.
You think it was trash?
Boring.
The first act.
Some of my notes here for the first act, right? Most boring chase scene I've ever seen in a film.
That chase, the first act, yeah.
Han getting stuck in the tight gap is peak comedy, isn't it? With a rolling eye emoji, because I audibly groaned.
I mean, it does come back later on, but it definitely was played in a way that they were expecting you to laugh.
The backstory behind his name is fucking stupid. I think that.
Why couldn't he just be Han Solo?
I'm in agreement with that.
That's such a stupid.
It is so stupid.
I wrote, I'm 20 minutes in and I want it to be over already. I'm so bored.
What point was 20 minutes?
I haven't got a clue. That was the thing. I just kind of wrote down while I was watching. I didn't really put any pointers. I wrote there's a forearm dude.
Yeah, Rio Durant.
Okay, so before that point, obviously they're in the sort of war zone.
He's played by Jon Favreau.
Yes, he was played by Jon Favreau.
He's played by Jon Favreau.
But I was kind of, the war zone scene is kind of interesting.
Some Mimban.
Coming back to Firefly.
I'm gonna hit you.
Literally, the smugglers in there were basically used to fighting a war. And the opening scene of Firefly is literally them in a war, them losing, and then this. But I was like, this is giving me major vibes. And then they were like, this feeding to the beast or whatever. I was like, I know exactly what this is going to be. And I've written, calling a Wookiee a beast seems racist. I don't know why, but I also wrote then in that part, I didn't sign up for a cage match.
I'm gonna give the rest of my review in Shriwook. Sorry.
No, please don't. And then I got really confused because I thought he couldn't understand English.
What? Chewbacca?
Yeah, because he spoke. What was the language again?
Shriwook.
Yeah, he spoke to him in that language so he could understand him, but then he just understands him in English immediately after.
I think more that was that like he wasn't paying attention to him until he spoke Shriwook. That was how I took it.
Okay.
Like it's.
Do you want to check on Kylo? Al?
He's fine.
Is he? I didn't know if he needed a pause or anything.
My son, also to point out, this is the Star Wars episode. My son is called Kylo.
I thought we'd just cut that bit out.
No, we keep it all stays in, baby.
I wrote again. I'm just bored.
How dare you?
It was a boring film.
You're hurting my feelings.
So, wait, what? I can't. I'm trying to find what bits you were saying. Oh, this is boring and stuff like that too.
I'm coming up to like Paul Bettany's introduction.
Fucking hell, you're way ahead of me.
Okay.
Jesus Christ!
Notes towards the end of the film.
I've got a note that says, "Imagine drawing attention to shortening someone's name when saying it." It's like, I'm not saying Chewbacca all the time. We'll have to find a nickname. And I was like, okay, that's a bit thing. The train scene, I fucking love the train scene.
Yeah, the train scene's really
great. I've seen like some of the making of and like the stuntmen talking about it. The way they made that was really cool. They had like the big train like on a big like crane system on a green or blue screen, I think it was, and they had a camera which you could, in the camera view, you could see the 3D environment it was going through, so you could really understand what was going on in the scene, which was really interesting. But that was awesome. And
one of my things is that Woody? Wait, that's Woody Harrelson.
It is.
Because I wasn't sure.
What do you You would, sure.
Because when he first gets introduced, you see like the side of his face. And I was like, "Wait, is that Woody? That's Woody!" I was like, "Ah, Woody!" I didn't know he was in the film. I didn't know anyone was in the film other than
You got a friend in me.
Donald.
And
Yes.
I also brought up the explosion at
That's
the
cool.
end
That's
because do you know how they made that?
cool. They did it underwater, didn't they?
They set off a little trigger explosive underwater,
And they filmed it
with
in
a
reverse.
like a super slow motion camera. Yeah,
Isn't it-
filmed in reverse and then put it over the footage. So that's
Didn't
why
they
you
get
get
the
that
idea-
bubble effect.
Didn't they get the idea from a slow mo guys video?
They did, which
Yeah,
is
they did.
really cool. Which is
They
a
did.
really that's the stuff I love about visual effects. You're like,
I remember that.
we could do this fully CG, or we could find an interesting way to do this, and it looks really visually impressive.
I will say, for the most part, the film did look visually like good. My
The
only gripe
film-
with the visuals of it was I just thought it looked a bit dull for the most part, like
What?
the color scheme.
You thought it looked good.
Like a lot of the visual effects looked a bit good.
I
Yeah,
One of my criticisms of Solo is that it looks like diarrhea put on screen.
Huh?
I will say that after the first half an hour, it was kind of like a passive watch for me.
It's like
I wasn't actively sitting there glued to the screen.
the color grading and lighting in Solo are so whack. Like,
Yeah, that's what I
No,
mean.
there were some scenes I thought were visually really
Yeah.
good,
There's not
and then there were some that were like,
I should say, looked good for like the most part. I
yeah,
think
the
And then
visual effects,
color grading,
were-
just I didn't
visual
like.
effects were great. But yeah, there was a scene. I think it was after the explosion, whatever, and I don't know what point it was, but I just wrote, "I'm digging this a bit." I started to really get into it. I
Yeah.
did start to properly get into it
Ash
more
is one of like the 5 Solo fans on the
as
planet.
the film went along. As the
Like-
film went along, it felt better and better.
Like, I'm gonna stop you like now before we carry on with this anymore. But I know that Solo isn't particularly a good film, and I know that there's a lot wrong with it, and I know that people don't like it. I just really like it, and I think it's fun.
I think I can see where yeah, I can see it because
Oh, we
but
got the
then
Dryden Voss stuff.
but yes, because I think yeah, because the next note I have is after that point.
Okay, so I wrote, why is there a disfigured frog in a jar singing in Simlish?
Funny.
I forgot about that.
Just fun.
They saw the tune as well. It's just like the most tone deaf fucking thing in a jar. Just,
That song has like a name as well. I'm gonna get the Solo soundtrack up now to see
oh
if I can find
god.
that.
Like, I don't know, it's just, he was singing in Simlish, mate. Like, you could put that song in The Sims 4 in, like, Batu, the Star Wars world, and, like, wouldn't feel out of place at all.
I think that song's called something like "Chicken in a Pot."
Is it Jizz?
Well, as we know, all Star Wars music
No,
is
it's
jizz,
chicken,
so-
not jizz.
My next line is, that prick's missing half her head.
Yeah, that was
Mhm.
weird. That was
Um,
weird. I
yeah,
didn't
that's
like
just-
that.
Person there fucking missing half their head.
Yeah.
Why is Paul Bettany's face a barcode?
Because he's angry.
Yeah, but he's just got lines going down his face for no reason.
He's angry.
Yeah, and then my next bit is when like Donald turns up. So if you got any,
I didn't really write any notes for that, except the fact that it's childish Landino.
I
Obviously.
wrote Childish Landino.
Is that
Because-
all of the? Is that?
I mean, he's just a talented dude, isn't he? He's just a talented dude.
I wrote the Sabak scene was good. Like I really enjoyed that first Sabak scene.
Yeah, but
It's just-
the problem is, I got into the mindset very early on of I'm not really watching a Han Solo film. I just
Yeah.
imagined this is its own film in a vacuum because I was like, if I just keep looking at it, this is supposed to be Han Solo, the Han Solo that we know. I'd be too caught up on the fact that something was off. So I just sort of got in that mindset that no, this is just cool.
yeah,
cool
but
space
that's when
film
you
in
become an
the-
apologist for it.
No, but it's a cool film set in the
I'm-
Star Wars universe.
I'm
These
an-
are characters we haven't seen before.
I'm an apologist for this movie, whilst also consider that I know that it's about Han Solo. So
Yeah, well, I know it, but I sort of got into that mindset of like, I'm not focusing on the fact that it is Han Solo. I'm just going to focus on if I'm enjoying this film or not.
My
I didn't
next
get hung
two,
up in that fact.
my next two things are about Donald himself.
Go
I
on.
wrote, Donald's just good, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then I also wrote, this film would have been better if Han Solo wasn't in it and it was just Donald doing Donald things.
Well, they're making a
Donald.
Lando. They're making a Lando series.
I mean, I'll probably watch that because I really like his. I think he's better than what's his name, Billy D. Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just shit as Lando, and he. Yeah, and then I wrote, I'm fed up of sassy droids being the comic relief. Fuck off, L3.
Yeah, that is my most hated character.
Just annoying as fuck.
L3 was the most annoying character
I'm not a big fan of L3. I hate L3.
ever. Honestly, just...
Did you guys all pick up on a joke that was definitely left over from when Lord and Miller wrote this film?
What joke was it?
It's when the ring announcer tells L3 that he's going to shut her off. Like he says something like, "I'm going to flip your off switch."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Good luck finding it," as if like, you know, it's like a clip joke.
Oh yeah.
That's like definitely left over from that's what I think the big
I
problem.
forgot they worked, didn't they? They worked.
It's a big problem with this film is that I think that there's a lot left over from it when Lord and Miller wrote it.
Yeah.
He's upset at you guys because you don't like Solo.
Sorry, Kylo.
He likes
Kylo seems like a pretty smart chap for his age. You know, I think he'd have more taste than to like Solo out.
Oh, you go in there.
Oh no, I upset him again.
You go in.
The next thing I wrote was, I just hate Han in this film.
I mean,
Because I didn't go into it with your mindset. I went into it watching it as what it was presented as, a fucking Han Solo film, and it's not Han Solo.
I could tell that. I just sort of turned off the fact that, oh yeah, I'm gonna imagine this as the Han Solo we know. I was just like, this is just some story about, you know, it's in the Star Wars universe. But I was digging it. I started digging it quite a lot. I do like my heist movies and stuff like that. So
dig on this.
Now dig on this.
I again wrote, this film is incredibly boring. Because I just thought it was... I just didn't think anything happened. Like.
I wrote, get your asses out of that man's capes. When they started just fucking going at it in that man's capes.
They just laughed at that statement as well. They just started fucking.
Yeah, but I was just like, what the fuck? And then obviously Woody Harrelson comes in and just goes like, what the fuck are you doing, you weirdos? But what was it that then they went into, well, castle, wasn't it? And there was one point where I didn't like they were like confirming, kind of saying that Lando was having sex with the droid.
Yeah, Lando has sex with the robot. Yeah.
I don't like it.
Trust me, it works.
Trust me.
I picked up on it. I just didn't write any notes because I just didn't want to talk about it.
So that bit was bad. I did not like that bit. I hate, honestly, right? Could we just recast that droid as Danny Pudi? Troy and Abed in the morning.
2009. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Word. Yeah, boy. My next thing is about when L3 dies.
Good.
I said L3 is dead, maybe. Oh no. Anyway.
Yeah. But I have one more thing to say about the droid. It's really, really good looking for a fully CG character.
Ash 12-3.
It's fully CG.
I thought it was
because they had the actress in a suit, which had these parts to it, but they realized there was a lot of bits they had to remove from like her in the suit and like edit. So they basically just used that suit and that footage for reference footage, and they recreated the droid fully CG,
Wow.
which is really good looking for a fully CG droid. Like, really, really good. It's probably because they had the lighting references and stuff off they had, which was really interesting. I really liked that, but it was really good.
I've got 5 notes left that take me towards the end of the film. So, like, you can just basically...
I stopped taking
Oh,
notes
yours.
then because I started really enjoying it. I was like, sort of
Okay.
into it.
Well, I'll say mine, and then you can just tell me what you think, okay?
Yeah.
This film just tries so hard to be funny, and I just haven't laughed once. I thought there was a lot of scenes where they you could tell it was a Disney film. Where the humor just, it was typical, like, MCU style. Like, it's not subtle at all. I just... Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, whenever it came out, I would have enjoyed it, but, like, in this current climate of the way I like my films, it's just, none of it hit for me at all. I didn't laugh at all during that film.
I can kind of see where you're coming from. I can't really remember laughing in it, but I was enjoying it.
Then I wrote, Enfys Nests a Grill? Question mark. Because
That was a whole note.
yeah, because I thought it was a guy, and then it turns out it's just some freckled, like, Londoner or whatever.
That was a whole note just dedicated to the fact that that's a girl.
You're gonna love my next two.
Am I?
Is that Warwick Davis? It
He
is!
He
It
was
is
my
Warwick.
he was my obscure character
It
in my review.
buckles me that anytime, like, there's a short person, they're just like, yeah, come on, we need you.
His name's Weasel.
My next line is, Somewhere Trois! I wrote it all in caps, so, like, I don't know if my mic
As we
then either, but
no, that picked up. As we know, I don't like that scene.
Yeah, I can see why you don't like it because
Like
I was
what?
just there like, why?
No, it's stupid. It's stupid, but, like, I'm a slut for Sam Witwer.
Doesn't need to be in the film.
Like, okay, I really liked the Kessel run bit where they reach the gravity well, the maw as they call it.
The mall.
I thought that was visually pretty good
Yeah.
when they're actually like part of it was just like this is just grey with rocks flying at them.
Mm-hmm.
But when they got to the maw and the big alien thing, I was like, this is really visually interesting. I like this.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a good amount of tension, even though I know Han Solo does not die. For like, I know that for a fact.
Are you sure?
Well, I don't know. And
Do you not know that Al's
are
kid
you-
killed him?
Yeah. What do you mean? Han Solo dies?
shut up.
Well, no,
But then if you take my
those-
logic that the sequels don't exist, he never dies.
that's true.
We all die eventually.
Okay.
Boom.
And then my last note was, Woody dead? Oh no, anyway.
I see that whole like what was the planet called? I'm sure Al knows the name of the planet.
It's called Savarine.
There you go. That whole
It's
planet.
in the film. Why?
I can't remember. I don't remember the names of planets just like immediately.
Barely remember what's in our solar system. Al.
Naboo.
Paul.
But I really liked that whole bit on that planet because for one, it felt like a western at points. Yeah, and I just like that whole double crossing bit. That like you could tell like he's gonna double cross them, and I was like, they know this. How are they gonna get out of this? That whole like bit, like it built tension really well, and it was really interesting. Even though I know again, Han and Chewie survive. Don't ask me how I know this. I just know.
It's not like there's more films.
Yeah, but no, I actually thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. The first when is before the train? Would you say? Oh no, I kind of enjoyed the war zone bit a little bit.
You just didn't like the opening.
The opening I thought was terrible. I really did not like the opening.
You did not like the bit on Corellia.
No, I didn't like Corellia at all.
Okay.
I just thought it was a nothing film. Like, I don't necessarily think it was bad, but like, I'm never going to watch it again.
Like as I've said multiple times, I like this film, and there's no basis for it. But it's not much. It's not particularly a good film.
No.
I just found it
It's-
boring. Like,
I love it.
I thought it was
I love
fun.
it. I love Solo.
I enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed it. I don't think I wasted my time watching it.
Yay! I've gathered another fan. There are now 6 of us. We can't count us all. We can't count us all on one hand anymore.
When's the weekly meeting?
I don't think I wasted my time watching it because I can now say I've seen every Star Wars film.
You can. There you go.
There you
You
go.
know, Solo was the bane of my existence
Wait,
because I
have you
just
seen
didn't
all the
watch it.
Ewok films?
Fuck off.
Have you seen Caravan of Courage?
Fuck off.
What's the other one? Battle for Endor?
Fuck off.
So, Solo. It was one of the Star Wars movies.
I can now actually put up my letterbox rating as well because I didn't do it because I knew you'd see it all.
Ah,
It is one of the movies ever made.
it is one of the Star Wars movies ever made. I'm saying this as if I didn't give it 4 stars on Letterboxd.
Right.
Yeah, 1.5 stars put in, boys.
Whoa,
Whoa!
that's a bit scathing.
Now to bring back a quote I said at the start of this when you started this. You're breaking my heart. You're going down a path I can't follow.
Oh God. Right, so we should move on now after that. I think
There
we
we go.
spent a lot of time talking about Solo.
Yeah, I said it'd be a spicy one.
Mhm.
But yeah,
I'm not as upset as I should be.
Like I said, I didn't think it was a bad film, Al. I just didn't think it was a particularly good or enjoyable film at all.
I want more, and I know I shouldn't.
but
So-
yeah,
What we'd like to see from Star Wars going forward. Give me the Glupshito Disney Plus show right now.
I want a what if show.
Give me 19 episodes about everybody's favorite character, Glupshito.
I really want Solo 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Mm-hmm. What I'd actually, as Parf said, I'd really like to see a what if show,
I want it in live action.
like a serious. Like I'd love to see a what if show.
I want
Yeah,
Anakin to win against Obi-Wan or Mustafar,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to see what would happen if Anakin, basically ruled as Anakin, not
But
as Vader.
as we've discussed in those Star Wars comics, we want to see Yoda crashing the Death Star into Coruscant.
Be there now, I will. And then, bang, just into a whole planet.
Which is pretty wild.
Something I'd also really like to see now that Rangers of the New Republic is likely being reworked or cancelled because Gina Carano got fired because pretty controversial woman. I'd like to see them rework that show into a space western with Cobb Vanth as the lead character.
Yeah, I'd dig that.
Because
Cobb Vanth's a cool character.
Timothy
Cool,
Oliphant,
dude.
another just sexy man.
Would you kiss his face?
I'd kiss his face. Yeah,
I kiss more than his face. I'm not gonna lie.
I'd kiss that little red neck scarf that he wears. I'd wash his trousers or something. I don't know.
I'd polish his armor.
He doesn't have the armor anymore.
I'd polish his weapon then.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. Like just a full western, not like sort of
Yeah.
like just like
I really want a full western
just go full western.
because that's why I think the first episode of season 2 of Mando, I was just like, this is just full western, and I love it. I love everything about this episode.
Call it
Just
like the Marshal of
full
Freetown or something.
Yeah.
There you go. Done.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that idea a lot.
I don't really know because like I'm kind of happy with what they're doing at the moment.
I got 2 that I know me and you have spoken about that we both want.
Hmm?
Vader
Yes.
I
Vader.
want. We spoke about this numerous times where we know before anyone says anything. We know the entire fucking stories about Vader. We know like we've had all Anakin and stuff, but
Give me a
give
TV
us
series of
give
him
us a
hunting Jedi.
Kenobi-esque show with Vader where he's just hunting down Jedi.
I need it.
I just want to see more like malicious Vader.
Yeah, I feel like he really does benefit from like the new innovations and like sort of CG to be able to
Yeah.
get like the more crazy and brutal fights.
He
Violent.
lives up to his reputation now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yes. Even though he was still scary and
Yeah.
in the original trilogy, you could really hammer it home with all that new
Just as a
new
jet.
fancy spangled technology.
And then
But I want a Disney Plus series where Kit Fisto teams up with Kit from Knight Rider and they go around the galaxy solving crimes.
Oh,
wait,
it sounds stupid, but I want it.
so we're writing Michael Knight out of it.
Yeah.
We're outfitting Kit so that somehow he can travel through space.
Yeah, Kit Fisto finds him in some sort of junkyard in like
Oh my god, and then the show can be called Kit as in Kitt Fisto.
Yeah.
There you
It writes itself.
It has,
Like poetry.
it rhymes.
It rhymes. Like a tone poem.
And the other one I've got, Al,
Mhm.
that we spoke about, is a mall show
Yeah.
or some form of project with mall.
Yeah. As I said, Crimson Dawn. Give it me, so it answers my questions about why he's in Solo.
Because, like I've said to you numerous times as well, Al, I don't want any more Star Wars films.
No,
I don't think Star Wars works as films anymore. I think
I'm happy without the films now.
like the
Be happy with
shows.
films,
No,
but not mainline.
like if Andor
ones.
does it for me as well, I think that will truly cement to me that I don't need films anymore.
I would just rather the shows. They're like you can explore the characters more. You can give them more time. And
But I wonder if Natalie Portman would consider being in a Star Wars.
do you think Natalie Portman would step on me?
Oh God! I was making a Taika Waititi joke, and you decided to just take it too far.
Do you reckon they'd cast me in a Star Wars film opposite her just so she can step on me?
Yeah, but remember, you are the worst character in Star Wars.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah, but unlike Natalie Portman, he's actually in Star Wars.
That's a good point. Would you consider being in a Star Wars?
Would I consider? As a serious question, probably not. No, actually, I wouldn't mind like being a background extra or something.
Carrying some like ice cream maker or something.
You've stolen it. That's gonna be my obscure character for my next Star Wars review.
He's so sad, isn't he?
Oh no!
Who's revealing me? Spoil the joke. I'm gonna go quiet now.
The last thing I got, just fuck off this time period.
Revan.
Just go.
Yeah, go back.
Just go Old Republic, High Republic. Just go. You do both of them. Do characters that we don't know.
Do the Mandalorian war during the Old Republic.
Mandos versus Jedi's.
Or do what George wanted and explore more into like the Force itself.
I love the concept of that war is because like the Mandalorians realized that lightsabers could like block blaster bolts, so they just started using shotguns. Like they just like used just like conventional ammunition that they couldn't block and just shot Jedi's.
Yikers.
That just sounds like such an American response.
Imagine Din Djarin walking up on Kit Fisto with the strap, like.
Yeah, but then Kit's gonna stroll up.
Let's be honest, Mando is not a good fighter. Kit would kill him. Well, say that, Kit gets slaughtered in seconds.
Run him over with Kit!
I like how he just ran him over. Like that car was like just decked out with so much weapons and stuff. He just ran him over.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's technically future technology to them.
Just as a blanket rule as well. I'd like a lot more just boots on the ground stuff.
Yeah.
I really like the boots on the ground aspect of Star Wars.
put the wars back into Star Wars.
As
That
Han
sounds
Solo,
like a really weird political campaign.
as Han Solo once so eloquently said, "Hokey religions and ancient weapons ain't nothing compared to a good blaster." That was paraphrased. But
Yeah, I'm on the other side of that spectrum. I'd rather more lightsabers.
I'd rather a mix.
While I feel like, it's good for the most part, the blaster stuff, like, just give us more big scale Jedi wars and that. Give us stuff like how the Jedi Order was formed, and I just want shit like
And
that.
make the lightsaber fight good.
right,
Yeah.
Because we can say that the sequel trilogy, most of the fights are doo-doo.
Now we go on to the hot takes and controversial opinions.
Okay.
I'll save mine till last because I know I'm going to get
No,
bollocks.
mine's going to be the most controversial one, so I'll go last.
All right, I'll go first then. I'll get it out of the way. As much as I've bashed on it during this episode, I think The Last Jedi is an alright film.
Explain.
Well,
Okay.
there's only so much I'd change with it to make I don't like the Canto Bite stuff.
No, that stuff can get in the bin.
I don't like. That's it, really. I just don't like. I really just don't like Canto Bite. I don't like Luke as well. I don't like
the throne room scene is bad.
The throne room choreography is absolutely abysmal.
Weapons just disappear.
I think it's some good ideas executed poorly.
And there's some weird shots in there. I'm like, why is that?
I think the whole storyline of trying to explore, the effects of war on people that aren't fighting it, which is what Canto Bite is meant to do, is a very good storyline. And I think that's why it services Poe Dameron better, because he thinks he can solve all his problems by jumping in his X-Wing and blowing all of the shit up, and he needs to see the other side of it.
Yeah, but can we also call attention to in that film? He says, him and Rey introduced themselves to each other, even though they were at the fucking base in Episode 7 together.
Yeah, I kind of wish that Kylo Ren had got to be the bad guy of Episode 9 instead of Palpatine coming back. So most of my problems stem from the fact that they course corrected everything. So
yeah,
I think if they'd just rolled with all of if they'd rolled with it from where The Last Jedi ended, I would like The Rise of Skywalker a lot more.
You know what I would want? This comes back to what I would want now after we've talked about this. I would like to see Colin Trevorrow's Duel of the Fates.
Yeah.
From the sound of the script, it sounds really interesting. And even if we can't obviously get it live action, just get it animated.
Well, that's what me and Al had said before. We said just give it to Dave Filoni to direct it.
Yeah.
And
can we just give it to a better director?
Script.
Just do it in the Clone Wars style animation and just use Colin's script, and just do that. Release it as a Disney Plus holiday special or something. When they've got a down period of content.
You mean instead of one of the Lego ones?
Yeah, because I hate that idea.
I haven't even watched any of them, so I can't really comment on them.
But I think it's just a good idea, isn't it?
Sounds really interesting.
Dave.
So I don't really know how to justify this opinion. I just don't think it's that bad a film, and it shouldn't live rent-free in everyone's head because it came out 5 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think
if you refuse to acknowledge it exists.
I mean, I think the whole idea of this film came into my house, murdered my family, and kicked my dog is really just unwarranted. That's basically how everyone looks at it. They either look at it this is amazing, or this is the worst thing to ever exist.
It's a movie, and
it is one of the movies to exist.
Perfect by any means, but it's also not as bad as everyone makes it out to be.
Yeah, I can understand.
I think it's all right. I left the theater after watching it, and I didn't immediately think I hate this film. And
I came out feeling a bit weird about it.
I did with The Rise of Skywalker. I left the theater, and I went to the midnight showing for Rise of Skywalker, and I left the theater. I was like, I don't like that movie. That was bad. And I felt really sad after it because I really like Star Wars, and I was just sort of stood in the street, just like, that was a bad film.
I imagine it was raining that night as well, just for more
It
dramatic effect.
yeah, and it was just Ave Maria was playing.
I was gonna say that.
Disembodied. It was, I did like the Charlie Brown walk home, like my head like down, shuffling.
But yeah, so who's going next?
You can go next because my
I
one's
kind
the
of have
biggest one.
two.
Yeah, go for it.
So one of them is that I have seen quite a few episodes of Clone Wars season 1, and I found them extremely fucking boring.
Oh, that's fine.
No, that's completely justified. Season 1's
Okay,
trash.
season 1 is
That's not-
trash. Okay,
That's not a
okay.
controversial
I
opinion. at all.
find Revenge of the Sith extremely fucking boring.
that is.
That's also no, it's not though,
It's
because
not though.
another
Feasible.
thing that me and you have said a lot of times, Al, is the reason we think Revenge of the Sith is such a good, like, enjoyable film
It's
is because of retrospect, because of the fucking Clone Wars.
Neither of your opinions are
Oh,
particularly.
Neither of them are too left field. Ash. Like, I can completely understand both of them because the Clone Wars isn't that. The Clone Wars doesn't really pick up until season 3.
Yeah.
Like, season 3 is where it starts becoming like, okay, this is fucking incredible.
Yeah, season 1 is like.
Fuck, I gotta. Okay, you do yours. I'll come up with something else.
No, mine's gonna be the closing thing before we do the recommendations. So, like,
I think we're okay with that though. That's
yeah,
fine.
that's okay, Ash.
Okay.
I think you should be grateful that you've come to us with these opinions.
Yeah, but I want to anger people.
You've accepted
Sorry,
them.
Ash, my one's gonna fucking anger people.
Oh no. Oh no.
So my controversial opinion is that there isn't a single good Star Wars film.
Wrong.
All of these films are bad films when you look at them.
It's just wrong.
No, listen to me, okay? When you look at what makes a film good, right?
Yes.
You look at the script, the acting, all of that.
Yeah.
The script in every Star Wars film is diabolical.
He's not wrong.
I mean, well, no. It depends what sort of vibe you're going for.
Not diabolical. They all have some.
But literally, again, if you look at OT in the light of what he was trying to achieve, a space opera.
No, there's still some pretty bad writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for the majority of the time, like, every film has its issues, and I'd say that the writing sort of takes a backseat at times to the visuals and the action and the story itself. And it may be a simple story, but if it works, it works.
I think him saying that there are no good Star Wars movies is hyperbolic in a way, and that there's just none of them that are perfect as people.
What I mean good then, there's no great ones. Like, do you know when you look at like the best trilogies of all time and stuff, and you see people say, "Oh, well, original trilogy, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Dark Knight, Captain America." All of those trilogies, in terms of looking at them as actual films, are vastly superior to Star Wars. Better films.
Again,
I'm struggling to agree with him, but I'm trying to play this from a point where I'm trying to see where he's coming from.
I'm trying to see it, but
don't get me wrong, Star Wars is my favorite franchise, right?
Star Wars is reaching to achieve a vastly different outcome.
Yeah,
to your Dark Knights and your Lord of the Rings.
I get that, but what I'm trying to say is, like I said, the way the Star Wars is written, the dialogue is shit. Okay, the stories are very simplistic, and a lot of the time they don't make sense. There's a lot of stuff. The best things about them is the music, the score.
This is the point of this. It was meant to be controversial.
Yeah. And like I said, Star Wars is my favorite franchise, but none of these films I think deserve to be in the talks of like, oh, best film here, best film. You need to separate it from like you enjoying it.
I can see exactly where it came from, because these films are just incredibly imaginative, technically outstanding films. They are made in such a way that it's just unheard of at the time.
Yeah,
Like,
but I kind
completely-
of get where he's coming from, though. It's more like these things aren't meant to be taken in like the same sort of conversation as like The Godfather and
Yeah,
stuff.
whereas
like that.
Star Wars is held as like the biggest franchise of all time, isn't it? It's like the best franchise, but like I just don't think any of the films is
But
particularly.
the problem is you're comparing films that are just
Yeah,
not setting out to
Yeah, but
do
what
the same thing as
the thing is, when you got a franchise as big as Star Wars, it's going to draw comparisons to other big franchises and other big things where
But
people are
again,
like, oh, this one's better, this one.
it's
And
trying to achieve a certain thing. And
it's like comparing an apple to a handgun.
yeah,
yeah, but do
It
you
is.
see what I'm trying to say? Though?
I can kind
No,
of
like
see
I
it.
can
but,
get where you're coming from, but
In the
but I
grand scheme of
can-
things, Star Wars films, none of them I don't think are particularly good films.
Hmm.
We
I-
just
I-
enjoy them
I
because we
disagree
do it
with
with
that.
our world.
I disagree.
I
with it.
disagree with it too. I think it's
I can see where you're coming from with
it's an
comparisons
opinion.
to other
It's
films.
it's an opinion. I just feel it's a bit misguided.
Yes. So
I
that
said it'd be controversial.
Yeah, well, that was
Oh,
the point.
And that's not
Okay.
saying I dislike Star Wars. Like I said, it's my favorite franchise. It's just, in terms of films, I just don't think they're that good.
okay. So
Wow.
on that bombshell.
And on that,
But yeah, so do we want to move on to our recommendations to close?
my
off,
allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy.
You okay?
No, I was just doing a quote that sounded outraged. So
Oh, okay. But who would like to do their recommendations first?
I would
well,
like to recommend that none of you go and get COVID.
that's
Yeah.
a good one.
That's a good one and a sensible one.
I would recommend that you go and make a home cooked meal instead of the microwave garbage that you've probably been eating all this time.
Christ alive!
Gotta do
Okay,
Gotta do
dokie.
it. Gotta do it every week, and they're gonna get more aggressive going forward.
Right. I guess I'll go first then.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of Star Wars, this is pretty close relation to Star Wars, and it's a documentary that's recently come out called Light and Magic.
Oh, there it is. That's
And,
how he was tying it in.
It's the story of ILM,
I really want to watch
obviously
it.
the effects house behind obviously the original Star Wars. It was made for the original Star Wars, and obviously went on to be one of the biggest VFX houses to exist.
So you've
ever.
watched it?
I've seen the first episode.
Is it
And
good?
based on the first episode, I really enjoyed it. Seeing how things were made, how technically innovative some of the stuff is, how I don't know. It's just it inspires that sort of childlike. Wow, this is whoa, like the wonder, and it's really good. I really enjoyed it. For anyone who's like wanting to go into like prop making or visual effects, it's really good watch because it's just it just shows that it doesn't really matter your sort of experience, but as long as you really do it and try, it goes somewhere. Because they were all sort of kind of misfits, like the team. So I won't go any further into it. But it's a lot of fun, and I plan to continue watching it, and I recommend you do as well.
I'll go next. 3, 2, 1. So for my recommendation, I'm going to recommend something that's not Star Wars because really got to be on brand of being such a professional. I'm going to recommend Prey.
Ooh.
For anyone who doesn't know, it's a prequel to Predator, and it just came out on Disney Plus or on Hulu if you live in the United States. I've never seen any of the other Predator movies. This is the first one I've ever watched. I thought this was very
Wait,
good.
what?
Never seen any of them.
What?
Not even the original one?
No.
What?
No.
I'm actually
Why
very
was that
shocked.
a fucking geekly confession?
What the fuck?
Well, because there's a lot of geeky confessions that I can do. Thank you very much.
What?
I've never
That's
seen any.
mad. That's crazy.
Well, maybe I'll watch it for next week.
The only
Yeah,
one
well-
I haven't seen is the 2017 one.
There we go. You've done.
I've seen
gone,
the first one and AVP.
You've gone and spoiled next week's episode. Now, well done. So, yeah. I've never seen any of them. Let's get back on track here. So this is the only one I've watched. I thought this was very good. Very good film. Very fun. I enjoyed it. Cool.
Yeah, there is something that I heard about Prey as well, which really has gutted me.
What?
It was initially intended, obviously, to be a Predator film, but it was intended not to be marketed as such.
Oh.
It was intended to it not be shown that it was Predator and that it just looked like a new IP, or
Yeah.
whatever. But the problem is leaks came out about it, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is a new Predator film." This is like, and they were like, "Oh, the secret's out now. We can't do it." But they were planning on when you watch the film and you see it's a Predator, you're like, "Holy shit, this is the new Predator film."
I just love a film that when it comes out that it gets all the incels upset because there's a woman in it. That's what I love to see.
Apparently, there's a dub of it you can watch as well.
The entire film is dubbed in Comanche.
Apparently, that's a really good way of watching it.
Apparently, it's better than the English. I watched it in English, but I just thought it was very good. And I've seen a lot of people, congratulate this film as it's the second good Predator movie. All of the other ones are bad, apparently. Not that I can comment on that.
Did you just say? Okay.
He did.
Yeah,
Well, I can't
Predators is good.
I can't comment on it because
Predators is a good film.
Which one's
The
Predators?
Robert Rodriguez one.
I haven't seen that one actually.
That's a good one, and so is the first one.
The first one's fucking.
The one with
stellar.
fucking what's his name? The second one is
I'm
trash.
too old for this shit.
Is it Danny Glover?
Yeah, it is.
I'm
Danny
sure
Glover.
it is.
Yeah, that one's trash. Don't watch that. And
Yeah,
I
I
haven't
said
seen the
that, yeah.
2017 one.
Right.
Where
Where you sneeze?
I haven't really got anything to recommend.
Oh god!
I watched it again the other day, so I'm just going to recommend the Batman for those who haven't yet seen it. Ash.
Yikes.
Yeah, I'm just going to recommend the Batman. Best comic book film that's come out this millennium.
So good.
Potentially just the best comic book movie ever made.
I'd go decade.
What's better, do you think?
Right, I'd go all time.
That was the thing. Like, I was happy saying decade first of all, and then I was like, wait, it's better than The Dark Knight.
You made me think about it. You made me sit there and think, and then obviously I thought, and then I was like, yeah, but there's nothing better.
That was the thing. The Dark Knight was like the magnum opus for me. And then the Batman came out and just took a big fat shit all over the Dark Knight, and I was like, cool. It's a good film, man. It's just
take it easy, sweetheart.
Oh, come on, what are you showing me?
Oh god, this has gone off the rails.
It's such a good film. So
no hablo español, fellas.
if you've got 3 hours to set aside,
if you've got 9 hours, just watch it 3 times back to back.
Well, if you've got time, you watch ILM, Light and Magic, and then you watch Prey, and then you watch the Batman.
Perfect.
And then you go and cook that nice home cooked meal that I told you to do,
whilst also staying indoors so you don't catch COVID.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Well done.
We've provided a public service again. But thank you everyone for listening, and I've been George Lucas.
I've been Kathleen Kennedy.
I've been Bob Iger.
And we'll see you next week.
And remember, take it easy, sweetheart. Hey guys, welcome to Cinemenage. No, it's not a Trois anymore. Welcome to Sex.
Sex 2.
Al, you look submissive and breedable. Are you going to be my kitten tonight?
Meow.